Did you and Mr. Falls have a relationship? Yes, as a tutor. You're tutoring him, Mr. Falls? No, of course not. Don't be ridiculous. Mr. Falls came to the house to tutor me. In what? That makes sense. 5 years ago, she was only 14. You probably came up with the kidnapping plan during that time. The Hawthorns are in the jewelry trade and quite wealthy, you see. Quite the clever fellow, that Mr. Falls. Have you heard him speak? Did I hear him right? Did he just call Mr. Falls a clever fellow? I heard the diamond is valued in the neighborhood of $2 million. $2 million? It was still uncut, so it was about the size of a pint of milk. I could use some milk. A $2 million pint of milk. I don't know what to think about that. The defendant demanded that her sister Valerie make the exchange. Not as a detective, of course, but as an individual. By I want to ask you, Mr. Edgeworth, why do you think you wanted to make the exchange up there on the mountain? If you ever got surrounded, it would be hard to escape. There's one thing a kidnapper wants to prevent, and that's police involvement. In a place like that, it would be easy to tell if he was being followed. With only one entrance to the mountain, he was ensuring his safety. Like a wickedly clever man that Mr. Falls is. Yeah, right. It was all your plan. I mean, you could just get a fucking sniper and take his head off. If you really wanted to. Anyway, Valerie brought the diamond to the mountain end. That's the whole point of helicopters are for. After she made the exchange, she shot Mr. Falls in the arm. Why didn't she shoot first? That was a dangerous thing to do, considering you were being held hostage. Yes, but actually, that saved my life. What do you mean? You see, Mr. Falls was holding a knife in his right hand. Somehow I just knew he was going to use it. I knew he was going to use that knife to kill me. That's why my sister shot him. It was to save me. That's when Mr. Falls tried to kill me by shoving off the room from behind. I'd like to hear more about what happened right at that moment. When Mr. Falls was shot in the right arm, he let go of me. I was dazed. I turned to try to run, but Mr. Falls turned to grab me as well. As I ran past, he and I locked eyes for a second, and he gave me a large, bloodthirsty grin. Bloodthirsty grin? Oh! And in the next instant... I advise the court to remember that the river is 18 feet deep and incredibly swift. I was a strong swimmer, but I was knocked out. When I came to, I had been carried away by the river to a strange place. I'll never forget that day. A crumbling bridge, nowhere to run. Then just one little shove from behind, that was it. Before my sister could catch me, I fell into the river. And that's why you hid your identity? Yes, I only told my sister. Valerie Hawthorne, eh? Yeah, she's the only one who knew about me. Meanwhile, legally, this witness has been deceased for 5 years. I never want something like that to happen to me again. And that new identity was Melissa Foster, right? Yes, my sister helped me get the official paperwork taken care of. That makes sense. Without insider help, doing all the paperwork would have been impossible. She was the only person left in the world I could count on. And you think I killed her? There's no way I could. It's a moment of truth for this witness, too. Once the truth about this staged kidnapping comes out, everyone in the court will know how much of a Jezebel she really is. I just gotta prove the kidnapping was a hoax. Are you sure about that? Are you sure it was from behind? You say that Mr. Falls pushed you into the Eagle River. However, that's hard to believe. But it's true. I felt a push on my back. I'm certain of it. It was Mr. Falls. I'm sorry. I guess I wasn't clear enough. I shouldn't have said that's hard to believe. I should have said that's impossible. Impossible? I asked that the court recall the condition of Dusky Bridge now and 5 years ago. That bridge hasn't changed one bit in the last 5 years. If someone had pushed you from behind as you have claimed, instead of being carried away by the river, you would have been smashed by the bedrock below. A most certain death. Do you understand now, Dahlia Hawthorne? The very notion that my client pushed you from behind is impossible. Nah. Your Honor, this event occurred 5 years ago. Why, for all we know, the water level in the river may have been higher back then. Really? It's 40 feet from the bridge to the river. The small change in the water level wouldn't have made a difference. Nah. You know, that'd be like 30 feet. You're right, if the event occurred just as the witnesses testified, then the defendant couldn't have pushed the witness into the river. Young lady, what is the meaning of this? Just a moment, Your Honor. Hey, you're losing your cool, Edgeworth. It's true that the witness testified that the witness pushed her into the river. However, she never stated that she fell from the back end of the bridge. What do you mean? After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. If that's true, she would have fallen into the river. Well, Miss Hawthorne, is Mr. Edgeworth's explanation correct? Of course it is. Now that you mention it, I do remember now when I fell off the bridge. My skirt got caught on one of the bridge's side wires. You can't be serious. Order in the court. You would not have noticed that. It seems Miss Faye's assault has finally reached its conclusion. Bullshit, I have. Not now, Mia. This is no time to retreat. Unfortunately for you, this is just the start of Miss Faye's assault. It's a 3-front assault. Hopefully. Oh yeah, because I still have the diamond. What? I believe your reasoning when something like this, Mr. Edgeworth. After being shot in the arm, it's plausible that Mr. Falls panicked. Therefore, he could have unwittingly pushed her off the side of the bridge. However, once again, I'm forced to say that's impossible. Ridiculous. What's so impossible about it? Because your flawed logic contradicts the court record. Check. Yeah, too high. Would have been stuck. Unless he really just picks her up and hauls her off. Your Honor, all the answers are right here in this photo. Take a look at the wires supporting both sides of the bridge. They extend up to about 5 feet off the ground. It would be impossible to push someone off from there. No. But let's remember the size and strength of the defendant. Wires like this wouldn't be a problem for him. He could have easily picked up a 14-year-old girl and thrown her over. She literally didn't say that. So young and already so forgetful, Mr. Edgeworth. Mr. Falls had been shot in his right arm. Huh? And more importantly, Valerie Hawthorne had her gun trained on him at point-blank range. So, Mr. Falls throwing the witness off the bridge? That is clearly impossible. Gah. Order. What is the meaning of this? Dahlia Hawthorne, you jumped into the Eagle River intentionally. What is this? Calm down, Judge. It's not me up there. Indeed, what do you mean by such a ridiculous remark? Yes, it's ridiculous. My sister was there to help me. She had her gun and handcuffs. She could have saved me. Jumping into a raging river like that would have been suicide. It wasn't suicide, was it? Perhaps, but still, that's exactly what you did. You were probably confident that you could handle the swift current. But even more so, the witness had a much more compelling reason for jumping into the river. Oh, then what was it? What was so important that she'd want to jump into the river? The witness is still alive. This fact explains everything. This is why she risked her life jumping into the rapids of Eagle River. She wanted that cool, hard 2 million diamond. 5 years ago, something else disappeared along with Dahlia that day. The item that Valerie brought up to the mountain with her, the $2 million diamond. No. can't be. Yes, Dahlia had it all planned from the beginning. The $2 million. She was going to keep it all for herself. She forced Mr. Falls to help her fake the kidnapping. At the last moment, she betrayed him and threw herself off into the river. The ransom tucked away safely in her backpack. Well, that's simply ridiculous. Order! Your Honor, 5 years ago, the witness was only 14 years old. Do you really think a 14-year-old is capable of such a demonic plan? This woman is a demon. There was one more person who helped make a demon out of her. Her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. You mean the victim was involved in the kidnapping plot as well? Of course she was. But she was a detective then. You're saying she participated in her sister's kidnapping? Precisely. I'm sure that it weighed heavily on her conscience for the past 5 years. This is the sole reason behind the victim's murder. What do you mean by that? On the day of the murder, after receiving the phone call from Mr. Falls, Valerie called her sister Dahlia. And then she told her what she was planning to do. Planning to do? She was going to tell the whole truth, as she wrote in her note. That is what sealed Valerie Hawthorne's fate. That is when you hatched your demonic plan to kill 2 birds with 1 stone. A plan that would ensure neither of your accomplices to the kidnapping would talk. And that is why you killed your sister Valerie Hawthorne. Who is it? They're laughing at a time like this. Forgive me, it's just hilarious. Witness? Is that you? You amuse me, woman. Miss Mia Fey. You can certainly weave an exciting tale. Naturally, you have the evidence to back it up, don't you? Evidence? Fuck evidence. Evidence that I planned the kidnapping, of course. Then at 14, I plotted it with Mr. Falls and my sister. Well, And one more thing. What happened to the $2 million diamond? If you can't prove it, evidence to at least show that. Well, Miss Fey, I don't know. What a joke. You, Miss Fey. Are you stupid or something? How can I prove a fake kidnapping that happened 5 years ago? I don't even have decisive proof of Valerie Hawthorne's murder. I just need Terry Falls to say, yeah, it was a fake kidnapping. On stand. And it's over. Well, it seems that we've come to the end. To be honest, the witness's behavior does raise certain suspicions. However, I am forced to reject the assertions made by the defense. Of course you are. Is this it? Is it really over? That girl has made a fool of me, and there's nothing I can do about it. Without evidence, the trial's over? Who decided that? Mr. Armando. Come on now, kid. Haven't you figured out that you can make your own rules? No! That's illegal! For example, if there's no evidence, there's still testimony. Testimony? On the day in question, Dahlia Hawthorne murdered her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. She hid her body in the trunk of Mr. Falls' stolen car and then went to meet with him. Disguised as her sister, Valerie Hawthorne. That's what you think, right? Yes, that's right. In that case, there's only one answer, right? There's only one person left who can testify about Valerie Hawthorne's murder. Since there's no proof, there's only one thing left to do. Who's the one person who can testify to that demon woman's crimes? It's gonna be Terry. Your Honor, the defense wishes to call a new witness. New witness? Yes, we would like to hear the testimony of Terry Falls. The defendant? There's only one person that can shed any further light on the situation. Only one person that knows what Dahlia's role in the kidnapping was. Only one person that can say whether the person in the photo is Valerie Hawthorne, or whether it was in fact her younger sister Dahlia disguised as her. There's only one person who can solve this riddle once and for all, and that person is Terry Falls. Bring him. Well, Mr. Edgeworth, what's your take on this? not? The prosecution has no objections. Very well. Bailiff, bring the defendant to the witness stand. This is my last chance, Mr. Falls. My last chance to establish Dahlia's guilt. You're all I have left. Again, the other court decision and ruling needs to get overturned. Defendant, you've heard everything that's been said up to this point, yes? I don't believe it. No way. Dahlia died 5 years ago. Valerie betrayed me. Mr. Falls, I don't know what she said to you 5 years ago, but one thing is clear. Dahlia is very much alive, and you were used for $2 million. That's not true. Mr. Falls, there's only one question I want to answer to. 2 days ago on Dusky Bridge, who did you meet? Was it Valerie Hawthorne or was it Dahlia Hawthorne? Dahlia. Did you betray me? 5 years ago, she promised never ever betray each other. Terry. Dahlia? It's true. It's true, you are alive. You don't trust me anymore? That makes me sad. Tell the truth, the real truth. I believed in you. I shouldn't need to say it, you should already know. But there is one thing that I will say. My life is in your hands right now, Terry. I swear to God, I will bust your nuts in this courtroom if you defend her. I will allow Mr. Falls to testify once more. Well then, Mr. Falls, yours will be the final testimony in this trial. I mean, how good is she that all of these guys are like, no, I'm gonna destroy all the evidence that implicates her for murder. Like, we got Phoenix doing it. We have probably Mr. Falls about to do it as well. I mean, how good is she? Witness! Nah. I'm sorry, I apologize. Water, please. I can't talk, I need water. Oh well, I guess it'll have to be my coffee instead. Just throw it at him. They still match the way he's probably feeling right now. Darker and bitterer than hell itself. What Terry Falls saw. That day, 4 p.m., I stopped the car. I was in front of bridge. She wasn't there, so I waited on bridge. I watched my car from bridge. I never put nobody in that car. Finally, one woman came. She stood in front of me. We talked, then she left. That was Valerie. Not my Dahlia. I swear to God, Mr. Falls, you're covering for her. Do you think she would do the same for you? That's enough, Miss Faye. His last statement was a fitting way to end the final statement of testimony at the trial. Well then, Miss Faye, please proceed with your cross-examination. Is this how you want it to end, Mr. Falls? Another guilty verdict to go along with your death sentence? There's only one person who can stop it. You kidding, I think. No. He's gonna say he's guilty. Because he's a fucking moron. Yo, at least make her cute if you're gonna take the fall for her. Yeah, you didn't. You weren't there first. Yeah, this is why. Because not that photo. God, I always pick the wrong photo. This one. You're clearly closer to the cliff wall over here, which means you're closer to the car. She was there waiting for you, not the other way around. So when you got to the bridge, no one had arrived, huh? So you waited on the bridge. You sure of that? Yeah, I'm sure. You're sure, huh? Well then, I'm sure too, Mr. Falls. I'm sure that you're lying. Oh, I would love to hear your rationale on this, Miss Faye. You want to know who arrived at the bridge first? Just look at this photo. It's perfectly clear. Obviously, the person that came first would be the one at the end of the bridge, right? But that's the victim at the end of the bridge. That's my point. Precisely my point. In other words, Mr. Falls, you must have arrived at the bridge after she did. But can you stop gnawing on the fucking ball, Mr. Falls? Please don't get so worked up. We just want the truth. I got there around 4 o'clock, it's true. I had somewhere to go. A special place. Did you go to this special place before you went to the bridge? Yeah, it's an old temple about 15 minutes from the bridge. 5 years ago, me and Dahlia, we promised each other. We swore we wouldn't betray each other. She brought a memento to represent our love. A memento? 5 years ago, I hid it under a base tree there. It's a special memory for me. That's it. This is it. This is what I went to get. You didn't. This little bottle on a necklace is your memento. It's quite charming. But it looks empty. You didn't do it. Your Honor, you heard what my client said. He arrived at the scene at 4 o'clock. You did not just fucking drink that, you moron. I will strangle you myself before even any poison can kill you. But he then left his car unattended and walked away. He was gone for approximately 30 minutes. With that much time, Dahlia Hawthorne could have easily hid the body in the trunk of the car. No. Indeed, there certainly was enough time for it. I've still got a chance. Mr. Falls, there's no mistaking it. You fucking moron, Mr. Falls. Oh, Jesus. R.I.P. That's enough, please. Why? Why? Witness. I promised her 5 years ago. If it ever happens that we can't trust each other no more, then we're supposed to drink bottle. No, stop the trial. Your Honor, we need a recess. I was stupid and couldn't keep promise. So I did it. I drank this. No, we were so close, just a little more. I was gonna prove your innocence. No, don't want that. Don't trust self. Maybe kill it again. Kill sweet Dahlia again. Mr. Falls. Mr. Armando. Thanks for the coffee. Mr. Falls! Are you kidding me? And so my first trial ended, suddenly and tragically. It ended with no winners, only losers. All trials are kind of like that in a way. I ended up with a wound that cut so deep into my soul I never thought it'd never heal. I'm sure it was the same for the young prosecutor as well. He was actually really upset about that. But one person, the true criminal Dahlia Hawthorne, she left the courtroom with a secret smile on her demonically sweet face. Unforgivable, that witch. Mr. Armando? We are so close to the truth, it was right there in front of us. You were just a little too soft, kid. It's my fault. It's all my fault that Mr. Falls kills himself. Don't cry, kid. You're gonna make my coffee all salty. Stop it. I knew it. I wasn't cut out for this. No, you did fine. Yeah. Don't you get it? You can't cry yet. Jesus. The only time a lawyer can cry is when it's all over. Mr. Armando? He's hard as fuck. No matter how tough the case, no matter how bitter the memories, they always fade over time. Then you file them away and eventually forget about them. 1 year later in this very same courthouse, I myself got wrapped up in that case. with another Dahlia. And you defended her too. I want to bash her head on the witness stand. Only after that did Dahlia Hawthorne get put on trial for her crimes. And she got away because Phoenix let her get away. The verdict that was ultimately handed down to her was... guilty, of course. Really? Naturally, when the verdict was read, she had a perfect angelic smile on her face. She was actually found guilty. Jesus, that's surprising, actually. It was finally over. At least that's what I thought at the time. Unfortunately, I couldn't have been more wrong. It's been 5 years, but now something has happened that's made me remember all of this. She got out, didn't she? Oh, I am ready for this next trial. Oh, buddy, can I put her on death row, please? I'm gonna go ahead and save. I'm going to put her down once and for all. Hello? Shishishito, the treasured Korean village heirloom, whose name means seven-branch sword. It is said that the sacred sword represents life itself. Though the branches may appear to be infinite, the choice is limitless. Like our destinies, the sword comes to one end, one merciless point. And when the silver cord, the fragile thread that binds us to this world, is severed, whoa! What? The illusion is revealed, and the implacability of fate is finally laid bare. What? Why is there a dead body over there? You can't just go to a different scene after that. Hey, Nick. Tone shift. Yeah, what is it? You know how I've got my spirit powers unlike you? Sure, you're a spirit medium after all. But just like you, if you don't keep, if I don't keep my powers sharp, they would get dull, right? I guess so, yeah. Glad you agree. Okay, Pearly, you're up. Pearls. So, that's why we need to go on a special spiritual hotspot tour, Mr. Nick. I'm lost. What's this magazine you're shoving in my face? It's a New Year's issue of... Oh, cold. Cold. Winter Special Edition. Pearls look so happy. Maximize your spiritual powers with just one night of intensive training. Oh, it sounds too good to be true, because it is too good to be true. I'll say, sounds more like a scam to me. It's a spiritual treatment called Hazakura Temple. Please stop. It's way up in the mountains, and I bet it's nice and cold. Just perfect for training. No, I definitely don't want to go. You know, I think I've heard of this temple before. It's a famous channeling dojo. It's hard for even real spirit mediums to like us to make reservations up there. Reservations for a temple. Are you serious? Don't worry, I've already made special reservations just for us. Yeah, and I signed up for this special course. That's nice, and the timing couldn't be better. Since we don't have a case right now, anyway. Alrighty then, it's settled. Well, come on, don't just stand there. Start packing your stuff. Yeah, Mr. Nick, you better start packing your stuff. Me? Why do I have to go? Well, we have to be accompanied by someone over 20. Hey, I don't have anything to do with spirit power. The only thing I can channel is a TV. So, is there a heated pool at this temple? No, but you can stand under a freezing waterfall. Count me out. Sorry, but I think I'll pass. I hate cold places. What? No way. How can you be so selfish? Come on, Mr. Nick, look at this place. Doesn't it look beautiful? Nope, not going. I'm gonna be nice and toasty here at home. What the? What is it, Mr. Nick? Let me see that magazine. Are you fucking kidding me? This nun. Fucking how?